So the most hated man in Britain, the title that used to belong to Keir Starmer, but now that he's resigned, I would say it firmly rests with the subversive, lying Islamist, Sadiq Khan. Well, he was out in the media today trying to gaslight everyone and said some of the most reprehensible things you will ever hear. And by the end, I'll prove to you, A, why he's such a liar, and B, why he should actually be arrested by his own logic. So let's get into it, but let me just say very quickly here. Everyone knows London has become an Islamic third world hovel under Sadiq Khan. Our once great capital city is now only 32% white British as of 2025, as you can see here. So in 1980, the white British population was around 81%. I mean, London has always been more foreign than the rest of the country. However, the situation in recent years has become simply intolerable, as it now sits around 32% white British. So our capital city is only 32% native now. It's an absolute disgrace. I think it's fair to say that London is not even a British city anymore. And this is what they want for the whole of Britain, by the way. What they did is reduce the white British population to such a small amount that they can get whatever foreigner they want into power by bypassing the white British vote entirely. So if you want to know what the future of Britain looks like, just look at London.
You will meet people. I was with the guy that founded Wikipedia not long ago, Jimmy Wales. He moves in elevated circles, and he's bumping into people in Silicon Valley who are saying to him, I don't know how you can live in London. It's not just online racists who've bought this bilge. It is decent people as well who've been sold a completely bogus picture of our capital, of our city.
Absolutely. And the problem with these algorithms, the way they work is they monetize hatred. I call them the division dividend. It's an outrage economy. What's happening is people now have set up bot farms to make money out of slagging off London. There's an industry there, but also we now know there are state actors, not just Russia and China, but also MAGA-backed influences in the USA. And my criticism is not just of them, although I do criticise them, but it's British politicians and the commentariat who jump on this bandwagon and who should know better. And I think it's unpatriotic, by the way, to slag off the capital city when the evidence isn't there to slag us off. I'm more than happy to be criticised. Hold me to account. You often do so to your listeners. But base it on evidence and facts, not on misinformation, disinformation and lies. And it is a fact that I'm a proud Londoner. I'm proudly English. I'm proudly British. But yes, I am Muslim of Pakistani heritage. But don't hold that against my great city.
Unpatriotic, says the Pakistani lying Muslim who shouldn't even be in the country, in my opinion. I mean, is that not one of the most reprehensible things you will ever hear? Absolutely astonishing. Oh, and yes, the real crime data, which I will show you shortly, is apparently just fake news, made up by MAGA bot farms on Twitter. I didn't realise Donald Trump had a time machine so he could go back and fix the ONS statistics to make Sadiq Khan look bad. It's absolutely absurd.
Over the last 2 years, we've seen a 200% increase on social media claiming London is dangerous and on decline. At the start of this year, we set out the huge strides made in reducing violence across the board. Homicide at a record low, never seen this low in London's history.
This is just a lie. There were 97 homicides in London in 2025 and 94 in 2014. Of course, the population is bigger now, but who wanted that, Sadiq?
The government, the Conservative government, wants to reduce immigration. Do you think you need fewer immigrants or more immigrants in London?
I've no hesitation at all in saying we need more migrants in London. And let me explain why. So I'm not equivocating. It's really important for me to say this why.
Teenage murders, the fewest they've been this century. Today we're setting out figures which show the significant reduction made in London on neighbourhood crime. Robbery down, thefts down, vehicle crime down, residential burglaries down.
We've got new stats.
So anyone can pick a couple of statistics to make it look like you're doing a good job, but let's just watch Sadiq Khan being confronted to his face about his lies instead.
How can you sit there with a straight face and say crime is down? Since you became mayor in 2016, knife crime has gone up by 27%. Violence against the person has increased by 26%. Robbery has increased by 57%. Theft has increased by 37%. Shoplifting has increased by 109%. Sexual offences have increased by 64%. All crime since you, Sadiq Khan, became Mayor of London have increased by 26%. Don't Londoners deserve the truth about the state of crime in the capital from you?
Well, Chair, before I respond to the supplementary question, can I actually choose your good offices to make sure that Senator Tyrrell doesn't have the whip removed for raising concerns of civil liberties groups? We were taken aback by the concern for human rights coming from the Tories, but we welcome.
He's wasting time, Mr. Chairman.
Doing so. Look, let me respond to the question that was written for the member on his behalf for him to read out. In my opening, just mentioned just some of the examples of the progress we've made since 2016, reducing crime in the face of a rising population and in the face of government austerity. I mean, the ONS, which is nothing to do with us, themselves says, and the Commissioner referred to this in a different way, that you're less likely to be the victim of violence in London than the rest of England and Wales, less likely to be the victim of violence with injury in London than the rest of England and Wales. We've just been talking about the progress made reducing the most serious crime there can be, which is homicides in London. There is a concern, though, which has been raised with me over the last few years, about high-volume crime, what we call high-volume crime, in relation to shoplifting.
So the answer is you don't want to talk about the truth. What you're doing now is what you did at the beginning. You spoke about random date ranges that fit your narrative. That's not how crime statistics work. And if you don't like what I've read out, then speak to the commissioner next to you and ask him if his officers are reporting the truth.
With your new stats, they are based on reported crime. The ONS say that this is a measure that can misrepresent the picture. And if the crime survey itself says that the percentage of Londoners who've experienced crime has increased in 2023, is there a danger that an announcement like today can compromise trust?
Sadiq doesn't care about facts. This is all about his ego.
Early release. Right now, there's going to be a review of that scheme. Do you think that's the right thing? Or is the Prime Minister delaying the inevitable when you think about the capacity with presence? And if he is delaying the inevitable, should we be concerned that we have a Prime Minister who can't make the difficult choices?
Well, my experience over the last 10 years plus is that the criminal justice system is almost at breaking point. I've heard of some cases where we're waiting 3 years for a trial date. Imagine being a victim or a witness having to wait 3 years for a trial date. So we've got to sort out the criminal justice system.
Yeah, well, guess what has ruined our criminal justice system? Just like everything else in this country, mass immigration. The same mass immigration as I just showed you, Sadiq Khan loves and wants more of. So in 1980, when our population was only 56 million, our court case backlog was around 15,000 cases. But since we've had millions of third worlders dumped on us against our will, now, in 2025, our population is around 70 million, and as a result, the court case backlog is around 78,000 cases. So if any politician was really serious about fixing the criminal justice system, they would start deporting people. And you could even start with the 11,000 foreigners who are sitting in our prisons right this minute.
And so from neighbourhood crime to alleged war crime, the Mayor of New York is calling on his national government to enforce an arrest warrant from the ICC on the Israeli Prime Minister. Will you, the Mayor of London, be following suit?
Well, I have different powers to the Mayor of New York, but I do believe a genocide has been committed in Gaza. I think Netanyahu is responsible, and as a perpetrator of genocide, I think he's broken the law, and I think justice needs to happen, and that means him brought to book.
So, Burnham, you'll be lobbying him to enforce that arrest warrant?
Well, the good news is, and this is very good news, is Netanyahu's not coming to London, because if he did, he would feel the full weight of public opinion if he came. If there is any evidence of him coming to London, I'll be lobbying the Prime Minister to make sure the law is enforced, absolutely.
So is he welcome in London or he's not welcome in London?
People who commit genocide are not welcome in London.
Well, there certainly is a genocide happening, but it's not in Palestine. It's in London against the native white British population, as we're being ethnically replaced by the same foreigners Sadiq Khan is so desperate to bring in. So I think that is enough justification as to why we should arrest Sadiq Khan. He's literally encouraging the genocide of our people on a daily basis. So by his own logic, he should be arrested. Or is it okay when it happens to a white population? But anyway, you let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks for watching.